All right, we're going to work on our Trammel toy. We're drawing the upper left corner guide block. It is basically two squares, one stacked on top of each other with some holes drilled through it. So let's draw the larger of the two squares to start. Get my rectangle. And if I look, they are 1.875 on each side. And that's really all there is to that bottom, so let's finish the sketch and extrude. On the extrude, we can see the depth is 0.375. And that's it for that one. Then we're going to put the next one on top of that, so make a new sketch. Again, I don't know why it likes to rotate me around there. We start in this bottom corner. It doesn't really tell me the size of the square, it tells me the distance from the larger square, so I'm just going to set that thing and then dimension from the top down, and we can see that is 0.125. And then from the side, it is the same. And that's all there is to that one, so finish that. And let's extrude that as well. It's the same distance, that says here. So we'll say OK there. We need to put a fillet right here. You can see that fillet kind of in that corner over there. So we're going to do our fillet right here. And it says it's a 0.25 radius fillet. Okay, and so now if we look, you can see our fillet there. Right. That basically looks just like our drawing when we set it there. So now we've got these holes. It shows our dimensions down from the kind of the bottom or the face we're looking at now. So I'm going to draw these first two holes from there. They go all the way through. They're holes, but they don't really have them with hole notes. We're just going to draw them as circles and extrude them through. So I've got one in this bottom corner. This bottom one is 0.25 in diameter. The top one up here is 0.21 in diameter. They are both 0.375 from each edge. And this is from the edge of the larger 375 rectangle. So not in here, but to the larger outside there. And then the same down from the top. And that's it, so we can finish that sketch. We're going to extrude those two things through. We're going to try to extrude those two things through. We're going to cut them. And they go all the way through. And then we're going to say OK. And so now we have, it looks, so this is the front as we see it on our drawing. But the other two, if you look, they're kind of on the back side. The way the drawing is set. So we're going to flip this thing around. So it's sitting there, so we're just reversed. And so now we want to draw those two other holes. We're going to make a new sketch here so we can draw the holes. To draw the holes, I'm going to put a points on there. So both holes are exactly the same. They're this 832 UNC, but we basically just need points. So I'm going to go in my sketch and under in the create, there's point. And so I'm going to put 1 point over here, 1 point over there. Again, those centers are 0.375 from the edges, so we can dimension both of those. And the same for this point here. And then down from the top. And then we can finish our sketch. And it helps me to kind of see it at an angle. I can see kind of what's going on better. So put it on the isometric. I'm going to drill the holes. It sees the points that I just made, so it just guessed that that's what I wanted. And so that is what I want. They're both the same, so that's perfect. That's why we can do the 2 points at the same time. It is a tapped hole, which is already selected for me, so that's nice. It is a 832. So we have to change this, and this is the one I did last, so it showed up for me. But a lot of times you'll get something like this one, and you don't have the stuff you want. But under size, if you notice under size, there's these that have the parentheses with the numbers. We're doing an 8, so we're going to pick the number 8. And then we get the correct codes for the whole notes here. It is a counter bore, so we're just going like that. It does tell me that the counter bore is 0.310 across and 0.164 deep. Move this up where you can see it better. So this is 0.310, and then depth is, I just said it, 0.164. Okay, it is a full depth, so if this is not selected, make sure you select full depth because the tapped part of the hole goes all the way through. We have drilled it all the way through, so I think we're good. Say OK. And now if you look, there are our tapped holes where they should be. Right? So if we look at it in the direction we did it, there's the tapped holes in the correct orientation because it looked kind of backwards, right, when I had it flipped around to this other side. But there are those holes there. And I think you are all done. So color it if you'd like to make it look pretty. Other than that, hit save.